We have a very special guest here with us, and this is between China and Pakistan and the diplomatic relations between these two brotherly nations. Now, the person who is joining us online here with us is a personality that is close to all of our hearts, and he has been serving Pakistan since a very long time, and he has been deployed on multiple positions, on multiple international forums. He has been representing Pakistan on almost every important international forum that you can imagine and you can name that exists out there. He has been representing Pakistan in the International Committee of Nations in a very diligently. And when we talk about this, we are of course referring to the 74th anniversary of Pakistan-China diplomatic relations, and also the personality who is joining us on today's morning show. We will have a great conversation with him, His Excellency Khalil Hashmi, Pakistan's ambassador to China. Now, first, a brief introduction. Ambassador Hashmi is Pakistan's ambassador to China since November 11th, 2023. The career of the diplomat who joined foreign service in 1994. For the most of us, that's our lifetime. Most of us right now watching the TV screens, we were born that year. So our lifetime equals his career in the field, and he has been representing Pakistan. He has also served as the permanent representative to the United Nations and other international organizations in Geneva 2019 to 23. Big personality, big name, close to our hearts, and we graciously welcome him on today's morning show. Thank you, sir, and Assalamu alaikum.
Ji, walaikum salam. Thank you very much for having me and for very generous introduction.
Jazakallah, sir. Sir, 74th anniversary of Pakistan-China diplomatic ties and relations. A big day indeed, and recent win in Operation Bunyana Marsus, Chinese tech taking over the warscape, also Pakistani pilots behind it, again showing to the world that Pakistan and China are hand in hand. Pakistan and China, not only do they gel together, but they care about each other, and when together they perform like none other. How would you describe these 74 years?
Never a dull moment. That's the brief, I guess, description of Pakistan-China 74 years of our diplomatic relations. Ironclad, ever greener, friendship of all weathers, all seasons, and it has withstood the test of time. So I think there is no other such interstate relationship to be compared with. So it's very special, very unique, and ever-growing and ironclad.
Right. When we talk about Pakistan and China, we see a lot of student exchanges taking place, and we also see a lot of business activity between the two countries. We've got small businesses in Pakistan operating from the production lines, buying stuff from the production lines in China. Are there increases that you've seen over the past few months in these activities, and how would you describe Pakistani youth and Chinese youth gelling together?
Well, I'm very fortunate to be serving in China for the second time. So I was here 2008, 2010. And at that time, in terms of students, Pakistani students in China, the number was just under 10,000. Right now, 16 years later, the number has grown threefold. We are talking about over 29,000 Pakistani students here. Most of them, they are pursuing masters or PhD or postdoc in various disciplines. So I think they're very talented, very driven, and we are supporting them in two ways. One is to have, in the last 2 years, twice we have hosted a Pakistani Students and Professionals Forum. The first priority is to connect our Pakistani youth studying in China with the Pakistani professionals that are in China, so that they guide them, they counsel them, and also prepare them. If they want to pursue jobs here in China, they can help them. And if some of them, they want to go back to Pakistan, they can get connected with Chinese businesses and enterprises which are working in Pakistan. The second is we've just launched, after the last Professional Students and Professional Forum, a mentorship program. So that's more structured, that's more tailored, and we are helping Pakistani students connect with a few Pakistani professionals in various fields. So they then provide them a more tailored and more precise advice, mentorship, and it's like holding hands and walking them through the Chinese, very growing market, especially in the on the tech side, on the various scientific disciplines and business studies, or on the research side.
Now, when you take into account China, talking in terms of aquaculture and agriculture, China is coming up with advanced technologies, and food scarcity and food security are the topic of the hour for the world right now, taking into account the climate change. Are there any programs going on right now, as you are in China, for people who can indulge in these activities? Because Pakistan requires good knowledge in part of agriculture and aquaculture.
So yes, that is true. We are pursuing four tracks. One is on the education as well as training. You may have heard Prime Minister, when he visited last year, he announced that we would send 1,000 Pakistani professionals, agriculture professionals, to China for hands-on training in several 8 or 9 areas, which is from seeds to irrigation to pesticides and better cultivation techniques, so on and so forth. So that's the training and education part. We have more and more students now. We're trying to get more students, some on scholarship and others on, otherwise, to get them to various Chinese universities. This is one side of it. The other side, and mutually reinforcing side, is to have them work, these Pakistani students who are based here, or researchers, agriculture researchers and scientists, on joint research projects, on joint research labs. So this includes the aquaculture, fisheries, or other areas. For example, seed development. China is way too advanced in when it comes to enhancing the yield of different crops. So that's what we are tapping into. The third important area is the business-to-business engagement. So we have hosted in China um, business-to-business roadshow focused on fisheries. We have also hosted roadshow bringing Pakistani companies and then making them, sit with the Chinese counterparts in fruits and vegetables, in animal fodder. These are all sectors related to agriculture. Last year, we took 160 Chinese companies to Food and Agriculture Expo in Karachi. So with these efforts on the business track, on the investment track, but also on the training and education as well as on research track, these are the areas we are working on. Of course, agriculture is a vast area. You mentioned aquaculture, fisheries, but also crops, enhancing their yield, better, drip irrigation, better fertilizers, better pesticides, livestock sector, and so on. So we are very much focused. We want to take it to the next level. So several proposals are underway.
Wow, how exciting to hear how China has been helping us not only in technology, but with agriculture and aquaculture, as Muzzammil said. So, Your Excellency, over these 74 years of friendship, what are the key milestones that Pakistan and China were able to achieve? Can you please highlight those?
Several, I would say. If we go back, for example, in history, 1960s was, a very transformational time for our ties. So 1963, Pakistan was one of the 14 neighbors of China, one of the first ones to conclude a border agreement with China. Next year, 1964, Pakistan was the first non-communist country to start its airlines. Pakistan International Airlines flew from Karachi, it went to Dhaka. From Dhaka, it went to Kunming, and from Kunming, it went to Shanghai. And on its way back, from Shanghai, it came back to Beijing, and then it went back to Pakistan. So that was the start of, the operations. Then also at the end of 1960s and early 70s, two events took place which laid the foundation of our ironclad friendship. And the first one was Pakistan provided China a window to the world by way of facilitating first secret, meetings between United States and China, and subsequently that led to the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and the United States. But also Pakistan was in the forefront of supporting China getting its rightful seat at the United Nations. So these are just, they are go back in history, but in the modern times, for example, our two countries, in 2008, I was here, a big earthquake, happened in southwest part of China, Wenchuan earthquake. And Chinese people still remember that Pakistan gave them all the tents that we had, among other things, among other help. 2010, devastating floods took place in Pakistan, 2011, and then during the pandemic and so on. China has always provided us with all the support that it can. And I think the headline is, in terms of economic relations, was the launch of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. And under that, we have, had more than $26 billion of investment, more than 250,000 of jobs created, 8,800 megawatts of electricity added to our grid, and many other transport infrastructure projects and energy projects. So all in all, I can probably spend an hour explaining the milestones, along the way. But these are some of those, and of course, our defense collaboration with China has been long-standing, and there are several other areas in diplomatic area between political parties at the people-to-people level, and sports, and so on and so forth.
Your Excellency, before today's show, I contacted all of my business buddies and I told them that I'm about to interview a very important personality, so they should be watching this show right now. As you said, 180 Chinese companies were taken to Karachi. When we talk about these business exchanges and we talk about Pakistani industry visiting China, or the representatives of the Chinese industry visiting Pakistan, are there any important, significant events that are coming up that our youth and business community should not miss?
Well, thank you for taking that up. We have invested considerable time and effort on this particular the business part of it, or the investment-driven joint ventures that we are pursuing in China. So apart from what I said, 160 companies that we took to Karachi last year on food and agriculture, we convened a first and very unique business and investment conference last year in June in Shenzhen when the Prime Minister came. So for the first time in Pakistan's history, we gathered 105 Pakistani companies in 21 sectors that the embassy, we ourselves had identified, where we had either existing comparative advantage or potential comparative advantage by utilizing or tapping into Chinese technology, finance, and management practices. And then we gathered 250 Chinese companies in these 21 sectors. And in one day, this is what makes this, business and investment conference unique in Pakistan's history, that in one day, we organized 1,000 B2B meetings between these Chinese and Pakistani companies. Out of it, 30 MOUs came, 16 have been implemented. We are tracking others. And subsequently, we have held 6 additional roadshows, B2B roadshows in China, for example, in the apparel and textile sector, in the leather and footwear, in fruits and vegetable, in medical and surgical equipment, fisheries, and plastics. And there we organized 850 meetings, 45 MOUs were signed, valuing over $600 million. We have now planned, coming to your question right now, we have now planned 8 additional roadshows. For example, these are the sectors in which we are organizing from July to December this year in different cities of China. So this is electric vehicles, for example, manufacturing and assembly, solar panel manufacturing, power storage. This is another sector, steel, iron, and copper as collective sector. We also are working on chemicals and petrochemicals. another sector. We are also going to do a roadshow on software development, on business processing, outsourcing, on financial services, on food processing technology. So these are the 8 sectors where we would hold roadshows specific to these areas. Again, our effort is to encourage Chinese investment in Pakistan through joint ventures. I think we cannot even begin to talk about enhancing our exports unless we enhance our productive capacity. And the best way to do that is to harness and tap into Chinese finance, technology, management practices to enhance, first and foremost, our productive capacity. Only by this way we can enhance our exports. So that's our target, and this is what we are focused at. And recently, in last month, I was in Pakistan. This time we took 200 Chinese companies for the engineering, healthcare, and minerals expo that was held in Lahore, HEMS. And last year, we were able to send 100 companies, Chinese companies. This year, we increased that number by 100%. So we took 200 companies there. We organized their B2B meetings. I was myself there. The good news is that we had, $150 million worth of contracts signed. Their contracts, agreements, not MOUs, and $300 million worth of MOUs. So if we look at the last 1 year alone, we are touching $1.2 billion, which are both trade component of it and investment component in the sectors that I mentioned. So this is where we are. We are very much focused on tracking how many and which MOUs are being implemented. So graduating from being just in matters of intent to concrete agreements and contracts. So I think overall we are doing well. We are very focused. We're pursuing a very targeted approach. And this is the way, I think, to go forward.
Now, for our viewers, you said 8 roadshows in these sectors that are being organized. Also, business process outsourcing, which Pakistan is sort of big on when we talk about this sector where we are giving customer support and customer services to foreign companies. People would like to know how to apply and how to become a part of this mission that you're leading right now.
And how to upskill themselves with this specific skill set.
Yeah, these are 2 different things, and then let me elaborate. First part is, I think we have already prepared the documents and working paper for each roadshow, and we have shared it with the Board of Investment, and we have recommended that the Board of Investment consult and coordinate with the line ministries, for example, in the case of electric vehicles, Ministry of Industries and other relevant ministries, but also relevant provincial departments, and then also reach out to industry relevant businesses and people who are in this area. So they have started that process. So in each sector, because not all of them are going to be organized in in 1 month alone. So each month, practically July, August, September. So the best part is to reach out to chambers if you belong to some the 8 sectors that I mentioned, or to the main federal ministry, or to the provincial department. That's the kind of they should reach out. They will let them know what is in it for them, why are we organizing these roadshows, and how can they best leverage their strengths, so that's how they can express interest and come to China. We will connect them with the counterparts, Chinese counterparts. But before they come, we have also made provision to organize their online meetings before they come, so that when they come, we host physical meetings, but also try and take them to different factories, industries, where they can go and have a first-hand look and have even more detailed discussions. The idea is not just to have a visit for the sake of visit, but to make it as productive as possible. The second part on upskilling and skills, I think that's a separate stream where we are working. We have already hosted the first ever vocational and education training forum. This is an initiative by the embassy. And we know we are very acutely conscious of the fact that 26 million Pakistani children, boys and girls, they do not go to school. This is a huge challenge. And I think we owe it to our nation to provide them, opportunities to get some skills so that they are able to, live a dignified life, have some livelihoods, and also contribute to national development. So that was the starting point. We have focused on identifying, two or three sectors. We are working with NAFTAC. We have had first meeting with them. We are reaching out to provincial TEFTAs, the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authorities, and we are, already in coordination with the ministries, relevant Chinese ministries here, for example, the Ministry of Human Resources, and their, provincial counterparts as well as enterprises. China's success, today's success, in many ways goes to its strength and its focus on vocational training. And they have done extremely well. And I think this is an area where we are now focused on harnessing and tapping for Pakistani youth as well.
Right. It was a candid discussion and we are excited. We are celebrating today the 74th anniversary of Pakistan and China diplomatic relations. Thank you for your services that you have offered to the state of Pakistan, and thank you for guiding the youth the way you are guiding the youth.
And thank you for motivating us today.
Motivating us, definitely. And the business community that looks forward, and the people that look forward to the skillful training and also collaborating with our ironclad brother nation that is China. Thank you so much for being on this show and taking your time out from the schedule.